Hello guys, Belle here. With patch 7.3.5 in our sights, I've gathered up all the important information that you should know to be prepared for the patch. The first thing is going to be the increased back size. Attaching the authenticator to your account is actually going to give you an additional 4 backpack slots. This gives you a total of 20 backpack slots, and you can use the Android app, the iPhone app version, as well as the physical version of the authenticator. If you already have it, you'll gain those 4 slots when the patch is live. Mythic Dungeon Combat Resurrection is receiving a change. It's now going to be a shared resource with a 10-minute recharge. There's also a small profession change for Rich Illusion Dust. This is going to replace several enchanting and tailor reagents for recipes from level 1 to 60. While they're not adding any legendaries to this patch, thank goodness, I think we have enough, they are making some modifications. As of right before recording this video, Awakening Essences, for those Awakening Essences, those will now drop for everyone whether you're on the quest or not. It makes sense because it's a currency, it should. The Awoken Titan Essence, which is the item that you currently quest for to upgrade your legendary to 1,000, this is actually going to be sold by the same quest giver as a vendor item versus you having to complete the quest for it. The cost is still going to be the 50 Awakening Essences. You'll be able to purchase it instead of having to do the quest for it. Also, the addition of the Purified Titan Essence. Wow, are we legendary crazy this expansion. This Purified Titan Essence creates a Legion legendary by way of synthesizing. This token is sold by the same vendor that sells the upgrade for your legendaries. This token is bind on pickup. However, if you purchase and use this token on a character that already has all the legendaries for that class, you'll get a random BOA token for another class. I guess that's the silver lining. I don't really know what all the legendary craze is, but it's the end of the expansion, so you know what that means. It means we go crazy with all these catch-up mechanics. I guess these will be useful for leveling. Make sure you go and farm. The thing to know about this is this does not affect the chance of earning a legendary through your normal RNG methods. Currently, the cost is 175 Awakening Essences. However, as of a few minutes before I did this video, a blue post came out and stated that they're going to be increasing that as well as changing up the rate at which you acquire it. This is them trying to minimize stockpiling before the patch. I also want to make sure that I tell you that you can stockpile. Obviously, you're going to have to do a little bit of grindy stuff, but most of it's stuff we're doing anyway. For the patch, they're actually going to be adding the first battleground of the day that you do. You'll get the Awakening Essences from that as well. Also, I want to make sure that I let you know, keeping your emissary chests for before the patch and using them all after the patch isn't going to matter because the Awakening Essences are going to be the same amount in each chest. So stockpiling those aren't really going to do you any good. You can just feel free to use them. Get the Awakening Essences that are in there now because it's not going to be any better. Blizzard posted that there's no benefit to stockpiling. Just go ahead and use open all your chests. You don't have to wait for 7.3.5. My favorite addition to this patch is the Dalaran Mailroom. Now, this Dalaran Mailroom is this little cool series of quests that kind of take you all over. You begin this quest by finding this lost mail that's located by a mailbox in Dalaran. I farmed this for quite some time. I finally decided to do it at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Boom, got it, and was able to go in and do the thing. I'm actually going to be doing a separate video for that because I pretty much took the video of the whole thing just so that people can see what it's all about. I'm not going to cover that here for time purposes. Basically, this quest, you go on a series of quests. This takes you into the Dalaran Mailroom, which is located right behind the pet cemetery. There's actually a Mario tube. I'm going to call it a Mario tube, but that's not what they're called. It reminds me of Mario. And you click on it and you'll be able to go into the mailroom after you do the very first quest when you pick up that item. When you do these series of things, you get an achievement, and the achievement is called the Total Package, and you get a gift, and this gift is called the Bulging Package because everybody should have a Bulging Package. Inside this Bulging Package, you'll get a Lost Mail quest that you will be able to give to a friend, or if you don't like that person, you can sell it to them, whatever, I'm not going to judge you. And you also get the toy Katie Stamp Whistle. Katie's Stamp Whistle basically allows you to summon Katie, and when you click on her, you can check your mail. I know there's other toys that do that, and there's engineers that can do that. I'm none of those, and I have no other items that allow me to check my mail, so I'm pretty stoked about this one in general. The toy is a 3-hour cooldown, which is not too bad because I'm pretty sure there's another item that has like a 4-hour cooldown. Nice to have another one. There's also another achievement that I'm not going to go into here, but I will cover it in the video that I did. It's the priority mail achievement. Doing a certain thing on hard mode within a certain time awards you the postmaster title, and with the postmaster title you get this really cool Melemental battle pet for your troubles. Pretty neat. Something I'm sure we're all excited for is the addition of Ulduar Time Walking to the Wrath of the Lich King Time Walking. With this came some changes to the raid. There's no longer going to be a 10 and 25 man difficulty. This is actually being merged into one difficulty, so it will just be normal. Any gear that dropped from the 10 or the 25 man is actually going to drop in normal. So if you're farming any kind of pieces from one or the other, it doesn't matter at this point because they'll both drop from the normal difficulty. With that, they're also merging the glory of the Ulduar Raider, the 10-man and the 25-man version. That'll be merged into just one. With that, when you complete this, you get both the Rusted Proto Drake and the Ironbound. This is cool because the Proto version of the Drake is actually my favorite visually. I think it's awesome. Good for you guys. If you don't have it, now you can just get it all out of the way in one fell swoop. Also to note, during the Time Walking event, loot that drops will be 930 in eye level. For all my pet battlers out there, we have a new meta achievement. It is called the Family Brawler. Now for this meta achievement, you'll have to complete a total of 10 achievements to get this meta achievement out of the way. These achievements are basically win 10 PvP pet battles through the Find Battle with a full team of level 25 of each set of pets. So you're going to need to do your beast, your critter, your aquatic. You'll have to do those 10 achievements to be able to get that meta. Once you have that, the reward for completing this meta achievement is the Master Trainer's Tabard. Great that they're finally giving pet battlers more and more, like as we go, they've given us dungeons. They're doing more and more things for the pet battle community, and I appreciate that. So you'll definitely want to make sure you add the Master Trainer's Tabard to your collection. Now let's talk about zone changes. The first thing I want to talk about is the faction embassies. These embassies have been added in preparation for the allied races. It makes sense. We're going to be recruiting allied races to our cause. They need to have an embassy. Several notable faction NPCs will be seen in each embassy. Players can set their Hearthstone to the embassy, and the embassy will also serve as a hub for professions. The Alliance Embassy in Stormwind is located near Wallerton Stead. The Void Elf and Lightforged banners are present here. Clicking on these banners brings up the UI containing racial info as well as the unlocking requirements. Allied race NPCs for the Alliance are also kind of scattered about throughout the embassy, which is pretty cool. For the Horde Embassy, this is in Orgrimmar. It's located in the Old Goblin Slums. Allied race NPCs for the Horde can also be seen walking around here. As you see, you also have the Nightborn and the High Mountain banners present. Once again, clicking on this brings up the UI containing racial info and the unlocking requirements. My favorite, absolute favorite change that is coming with this patch for the zones is the Nighthold change in Suramar. It's no secret, Belle's obsessed with Suramar. I'm obsessed with all things Nighthold. I'm rolling Horde just so that I can play Nightborn. Imagine how happy I was when I found this out. But the Nighthold is going to be uninstanced for Horde players. This is going to serve as a mini hub for the Nightborn faction, likely going to tie into how we recruit them, which makes sense that they would be friendly to Horde if we're trying to recruit them at some point. All of our people are here in the Nighthold. We have Thalrisa, my main man, Oculith. Everybody's kind of chilling here. Pretty amazing to be Horde and be in love with Suramar and Nighthold and be able to go in there and be friendly. It's beautiful. It's nice to not have to like kamikaze in just so that you could get a nice visual and then have to run out because you're going to die. That's going to be really great. That's one of the things that I'm super excited for. Now the second change here to a zone like this is going to be Thunder, Totem, and High Mountain. The cool thing about this is there's these Blood Totem refugees. Now these Blood Totem refugees, they're the only ones that are left that are not corrupted, right? You have the Fell Totems. These Fell, they basically took the Fell and they're no longer who they were. So the blood totems, these guys are the only ones that are uncorrupted. They came to Thunder Totem looking for a safe spot, a warm meal, you know, a little rub and scrub, whatever. I'm not here to judge. It's kind of cool when you're going into, when you zone in, because you get to see kind of all the little housing for the blood totem refugees. And it looks like they might have ran out of housing, because when you're running around the ring of Thunder Totem, you see random hammocks kind of in between things. So clearly they ran out of places for these guys to sleep, so they have to sleep in hammocks outside. But it's nice to start seeing this stuff develop, because then it's kind of making it real for Battle for Azeroth, so it's a good thing. Next, I'm going to talk about Silithus very briefly. I'm just going to give you the important information. I'm not going to talk about anything spoilery. I don't know who's been through Antorus and who hasn't, so to avoid that, I'm going to be very minimal when it comes to the Silithus stuff. I did do an article that accompanies this, so if you want to read more there, whatever the case may be, I'm definitely not going to spoil it in the video, though, because I'm nice like that, guys. I'm here for you. I'm a super nice person. Anyway, for Silithus, this is actually going to be a level 110 zone. You can revert this back at any time. You can go to Zadormi by Valor's Rest, and you can click on him and he'll allow you to revert it back to before the changes after Antorus to Silithus if you need. You will receive a starter quest when the patch is live. And this starter quest is going to basically take you on a journey to investigate the things that are happening in Silithus. The quest line's really small. It's nothing robust. It's not this, huge thing, but it's pretty monumental, especially given the weight of things. I think while it's small, I think it's just another step leading us in the direction to wrapping up the Legion storyline, so it's definitely important. There'll be a new toy, Doomsayer's Robes. You'll be able to disguise yourself as a Doomsayer, guys. I've always wanted to be a Doomsayer. That, I'm assuming, drops from a mob. There's just a couple, and they're Scarab mounts that are essentially high-res versions of the Karaji war tanks that we got in Anchorage that we could only use there, right? There are rare mobs around Silithus that pretty much look like these mounts. I'm not sure how that's connected. Seems like these are going to be obtainable during the Call of Scarab event, and probably only usable during that time as well. Don't have confirmation on that one way or the other, but that's just kind of what it's looking like. Another little small tidbit from Silithus is Augment the Mad. This rare patrols in a circle around there's a bonfire in Twilight Outpost. You kill him and you loot his dream journal. His dream journal talks about things that have already happened. Some foreshadowing. It's a little jumbled. He's a little confused. He's changed from the things that have been going on in these whispers, and I feel like he's going insane. It's pretty cool. They talk about what seems like Il'gynoth's whispers. They talk about faction leaders. Well, I'm going to say faction leaders because I read through the stuff and it feels like it's our faction leaders, but it might not be. We have no idea. This is just guessing. Wowhead and I think Icy Veins also, they have really good threads, and probably MMO Champion, they have really good threads where people are theory crafting what the pages in this journal mean. So if you're okay with spoilers or what potentially could be spoilers, make sure you go check that out. Another addition that isn't for everyone, but I'm going to mention it anyway just in case I have any master selfie takers. The selfie camera is getting an update, an upgrade, which includes new filters that you can get for the camera. The new camera has the ability for background filters. In order to use these background filters, you'll need to collect them. This is going to be really similar to how we collected the jukebox music scrolls. The ones we know of so far are going to be the Firelands filter, Frostmourne, Shaw, there's a Twilight filter, and of course the Argus filter. The original filters are included with this new upgraded camera. The quest givers are going to be located in Stormwind and Orgrimmar, and if you've never gotten this camera before, that same quest giver, you'll have to do the initial quest for the first camera to be able to get it. You have to have the first camera on you in order to be able to get the brand new quest. Now, if you are like me and you ditched your camera because it's a toy, you'll need to pick up the camera from that quest giver. They'll be able to give you a new camera. You'll have to have it in your bag in order to be able to see the new quest, but at least they give it to you, so it's not that big of a deal. PvP editions, small but important nonetheless. The new battleground, the Seething Shore, is going to be live. That's super awesome. I actually did a video breaking down the seething shore, showing what the seething shore is, as well as an article write-up that you can check out on method.gg or right here on the YouTube channel if you're interested. Also, the Vicious War Fox mount is being added. It's available for both factions, and it's purchasable at the Vicious Saddle vendor in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. The only thing is with this fox, I feel like some races probably shouldn't sit on it because I feel like the fox can't support it, like the giant Draenei male or, you know, the panda. And I'm not judging, guys. Like, I love you all, but I'm just saying I feel like in real life they wouldn't be able to ride that fox. Not judging. But the fox is cute, so if you PvP, you definitely want to take advantage of that. Real quick, I wanted to talk about what I'm going to call future content. I feel like there's a lot of confusion. People are thinking that we're going to be getting certain things right away with the patch because the data mining sometimes gets convoluted and it kind of all melts together. So I wanted to make sure that we had the chance for me to kind of separate it. The artifact weapon retiring. Yes, the stuff was data mined. The dialogue was data mined. The cutscene was data mined. I didn't even know they had cutscenes in PTR. I thought that was I didn't think that was a thing. Apparently one slipped through the cracks. Those of us that have spoiled it for ourselves, we already know how we're retiring these weapons and what's going to happen. It's important to note that this is not happening right now. This might not even happen in 7.3.5. It might happen maybe at the very end. Perhaps they're gating the content. Not 100% sure. This might also not happen for the pre-expansion patch because we have a lot of questions still. Even with retiring the weapon, we would need some type of replacement. So just understand that it's not going to be right now, that it might be at the end of the patch, or it might be for a pre-patch, a pre-expansion patch or something like, or a mini patch, but it's not going to be right now. You're not going to be able to go do questing to retire your weapon. The second part here is going to be unlocking the allied races. There's a lot of information that's been given. We know that you have to pre-order Battle for Azeroth, which suggests that Blizzard wants you to unlock them and be able to level them before Battle for Azeroth. I don't think we're going to see allied races in the next month or two. I think we're probably looking at 3 or 4 months out. Maybe it isn't a mini patch, or maybe it's also a pre-expansion patch. I'm not 100% sure what Blizzard is doing, but it's not going to be right now. It's likely going to be, if soon, it's going to be at the end, the tail end of patch 7.3.5. I also wanted to make sure I mentioned that the level changes, the leveling changes for the revamp will be live with patch 7.3.5. I'm not going to go into all that detail here. I'm actually saving that for its own video just because there's a pretty good amount of information, as well as I did some testing on my own to see what the difference is and see if that difference is felt and what that looks like. That'll be in a separate video, which will likely be out in a couple of days if you want to check that out. But I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that the leveling changes and the revamp and all of that will be live with the patch, which is great time for you to start leveling alts. This about covers all of the important items for the patch. I do want to know what you're most looking forward to as far as the content that's coming out for the patch. Me personally, it is the Dalaran mailroom, but I want you guys to comment below and tell me what you guys are looking forward to. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. Also, if you're new to Method, make sure you subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all the latest videos. That's it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. And as always, thanks so much for watching.